Hey everybody, welcome back to Crack'n Paks, YouTube channel where we crack unopened Magic the Gathering sealed product, share our pulls, and also talk about some other topics in the world of collecting, sports card collecting, and other collectibles. Joined here tonight, as always, by Soup Spoon the Bird. You can see him in there. And we have our beer tonight for our beer tasting from the El Chingon Brewery in San Diego, California. I did go with a local brew tonight. And we have, besides going through our big binder of vintage sports cards, I actually do have some unopened Magic product here that we will be opening tonight on the channel. The box is open, but the packs are not. So we'll open a pack of that in just a moment after our beer tasting. If you like the video, be sure to subscribe, click like, leave a comment, join the chat, and you'll be notified of these live streams and any future videos we post. So before we get into anything else, let's start off with our beer tasting for tonight. We have the El Chingon IPA from right down there in San Diego. I noticed when I bought this that it has a fairly high alcohol content. It's a 7.3, which is pretty high even for an IPA. Now, it's a little early here on the West Coast, 5 p.m., but as Jimmy Buffett said, it's happy hour somewhere. So we'll try one of these El Chingon, see how it tastes. And I like that a lot. Good hop flavor, but very well-balanced IPA at a not too high of a price point. It's got a nice maltiness to it too. You know you're drinking beer. You're not just drinking hops like some of these IPAs nowadays. You know you're drinking beer, and I like that. Still got the fruitiness of a lot of the modern IPAs. What's that? It's got a package that arrived in the mail. Oh, interesting. I'm going to highlight this in another video. I just got a package in the mail from a friend of mine named Mark Donofrio. I don't want to reveal the address there. I had a wager with Mark, but I guess that'll just be a future video. So already we have just more and more content here on the channel. But yeah, this El Chingon, it's fruity. You wouldn't be able to tell that this is a 7.3% beer. You could drink this on a summer day and not be too, and really not be too weighed down. I'm trying to. It's got a. Yeah, I wanted to get a good description of the fruitiness. It's kind of got almost like a cherry taste. A little bit of cherries, a little bit of strawberries, less citrusy than a lot of these newer IPAs. Maybe a little chocolatiness because it's got that maltiness. But still definitely an IPA, good beer. Highly recommended, especially if you're down here in Southern California. You can pick one up. And, we're going to look at these vintage sports cards here at Friday night. Friday Night Cracks, Clear Eyes, what is it? Cheers in the chat. What is it? Clear Eyes, Warm Hearts, Always Crack, something like that. If you remember the quote from Friday Night Lights, remind me. So I have here some unopened Magic. We have Jumpstart. This is a great product. If you're looking to get into Magic the Gathering and you're able to track down packs of this Jumpstart product, it's a great product to start with. It's kind of right there in the name, Jumpstart. The idea behind this product is you take any two of these packs. right out of the wrapper. Right when you take them out of the wrapper, you can shuffle them together and you can play a game of Magic. And they really did a good job with this, balancing it out so that if you're a more advanced player like me, you've been playing Magic for many years, you can enjoy this product just as much as a new player. The replay value probably isn't as high for the older players because the mechanics in the set are not that complicated. But it's a great product from the point of view of playability, and there's also some really collectible cards in here. There's the Allosaurus Shepherd card, which I believe is worth over $100, and then you have several other rares and mythics, Tiny Bones Trinket Mage, Muxus Goblin Grandee. These are all decently expensive cards. So I bought these packs to play with, not to open for collector's value, because I like to play Magic with my partner Christina. She's a slightly less experienced player than me, so she doesn't really like the deck building aspect of the game. So I bought this as a kind of just a way that we can both enjoy the game together. And we made our own decks. You'll see in a second when I open the pack, each pack comes with a card that identifies the theme of the card. So her deck that she's playing right now is an archaeology theme, so an blue artifact theme, and a lands theme. So it's a blue-green lands archaeology deck. And I'm playing a more aggressive deck with a red smashing, so like a red aggro theme, and then a black reanimate theme. I don't know what happened to the theme card. I think I used it as a counter or something. So you'll see when I open this up, it will have that theme card, and then we'll go through and see what else is in the contents of the pack. The different themes are, some are more rare than others. And what we're really looking for here are elves or goblins. Elves or goblins, because that'll mean we get the Allosaurus Shepherd or the Muxus. We didn't get either. We got a white themed deck, Enchanted. You see the white color symbol down there. Now, this might have a valuable card in it, and I'm not sure, but we'll go through it together and see what we have. These packs are a little different than regular Magic the Gathering packs. Normally in a Magic the Gathering pack, you open it and you get right to the contents. In this case, the contents are then in a double wrapper here. So we'll open this up. And I guess we'll start from the back, showing the cards. In the back, there's going to be a bunch of lands. So the packs come with lands. Now, I've seen on the price lists that some of these lands are fetching, one of the swamps is actually fetching more than like $5. I don't know if they're really selling for that much, but I guess they just have rare numbers on them. So they're selling pretty well. So I'll get the lands out of the way here. So each pack comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different lands. Basic lands, I should say. I believe each pack also has one of these utility lands. I forget all their names, but they have an ability that when it comes into play, you name a color besides your base color. In this case, the color is white. And then the land produces that type of mana for the rest of the game. So that's kind of a nice little utility land. And then going through the rest of the pack here, we have Indomitable Will and Enchantment. Not surprising, considering that Enchanted is the theme here. Trusty Retriever. These are just the commons. Forced Worship. Kind of a removal spell. Bulwark Giant. Big body. Staunch Shieldmate. Knightly Valor. That's a good enchantment from the Throne of Eldraine set. Stonehaven Pilgrim. Well, here's a nice card. Faith's Fetters. That's still playable, I think, in some formats. Whenever it's in standard, it's definitely playable. Face of Divinity. Blessed Spirits. Gets +1/+1 every time you cast an enchantment. It's a 2/2 flyer. And our 2 rares. Celestial Mantle. Enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +3/+3. Whenever enchanted creature deals combat damage to a player, double its controller's life total. Right. So every time you get in a hit with Celestial Mantle, your life doubles. That's a nice effect. And last but not least, we have a Johnny's Chosen. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, create a 2/2 white cat creature token. If that enchantment is an aura, you may attach it to the token. So that's nice. Actually, I used to have a cat tribal deck that could play in there, although that deck is mostly creature-based. So I don't think either of those cards are worth very much money. But basically what I'm going to do with these cards is, kind of reseal the pack and keep it for when Christina and I want to play with a different deck, or when either when we want to play with a different deck, or if we want to change something about the current decks that we're playing. And yeah, if you're interested in Magic the Gathering, I don't know, follow me on Facebook, Sean Cullen. Maybe we could play some games over the internet. But that's our Magic for today. As advertised, though, today we're going to be going through the rest of this binder of vintage baseball cards. We've got, after this binder, we've got one other small binder left with some high-value cards. We're going to go over that in another video. I wanted to show that from last time, I'm in the process of sorting and preserving the cards that we went through last time. So I've taken them out of those sleeves, and I'm in the process of putting them into penny sleeves. These are all the 1973 commons. It's funny, you can just look. I mentioned the whole thing about how miscut these cards are. I'm not sure if you can see it, but if you look from the side, I mean, I'm trying to kind of get them organized, and you see how poorly cut some of these cards are, how far off center they are. But these are just the commons. They're not worth very much anyway. I went through the more valuable cards, and I was pretty impressed with myself. I will admit that most of the cards I mentioned on the stream that I thought were worth money were worth money. So again, we have the Thurman Munson, the Reggie Jackson was worth a little bit more than a regular common. This Del Unser, who I mentioned, who I don't think is in the Hall of Fame, but this card was pretty valuable. Steve Garvey, an all-star, not in the Hall, but was worth something. This rookie card, I don't know any of these players, but Terry Hughes, Bill McNulty, Ken Reitz or Reitz. That card was worth a little more than the average rookie card. It's funny, this card I talked about on the stream, this Jack McEwen manager card, it actually turns out that's worth a few more dollars than a regular common. And then these last 3 cards, I don't know any of these players, but Don Wilson, pitcher, Jim Holt, outfield, Twins, and Mike Hegan, first base, A's. They were all worth a little more than the regular common. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's their number or some other factor. And that's another interesting thing. I'm not going to show this on camera. It would be kind of boring. But the cards, all of those common cards, all the commons I have are all within a very specific number range, which adds to that theory that the cards did come from an uncut sheet. But let's get into it here with this binder, which is mostly commons, but a few kind of special cards. I'm trying to think about the best way to show these. I guess I'll go like this. So, on the first page here, actually, I'm gonna hold the page. I'm gonna take the pages out. I'm gonna hold them up. So on the first page here, we have a little bit of everything. In the top corner, we have two Phillies, Stan Lapata and Don Cardwell. These may be the oldest cards in the collection. They're both from 1957. Now, I imagine that the reason that they're in here is because these cards are from Philadelphia. That's where my grandmother lived. That's where my uncle lived. So I'm guessing that either these guys were still on the Phillies when my uncle was a kid. So maybe that's why he sought these cards out. Or they just, they were Phillies fans, so they found these cards and added them to their collection. Next to those two, we have a 1959 card. So we're skipping 57 to 59. This Jim Hearn card. And this is kind of funny, some of these cards, they have weird cryptic scrawlings on them. So for some reason, somebody at some point crossed out the word Jim. They didn't like the word Jim. And that autograph there, that's just part of the card, I believe. It's not an authentic autograph. Below that, we have I believe is a Hall of Famer. We have two copies of Willie McCovey's 1965 card. In terms of their surface and their centering, well, see, I don't know. They do appear off-center to me, but that might be a regular part of the set. The edges of the card are very nice, and the surface looks nice. The corners, they're not perfect, but they don't look bad. Sometimes the way that the corners wear, they get rounded, and it looks worse than it does in other cases. But those both look pretty good. And then we have this looks like a 1961. Again, this is just a stray card here. Bobby Bolin, Giants pitcher. That's a rookie card. Down here in the corner, Bill Mazeroski. I'm not sure if he's in the Hall, but definitely an all-star. And that's probably why these three are on this page. And then we have two 1963 combos. And for the next several pages that I'm going to go through, that's what it's mostly going to be made up of, is just 1963 commons. Most of them I'll probably just go through and show them. Every once in a while I might pause to comment on condition or any other facts that stand out to me. So here's a typical page. We do have one card in here. This is a kind of a unique card. It's a 1984 Mike Schmidt card from, it says Topps All-Star Set. So that's a 1984 card, junk wax era. Not really worth much, maybe worth a little bit more than Mike Schmidt's card from the regular set. Some of these cards, so these 1963 cards, some are in much better condition than others. So if you look closely, I'm not sure it's going to show up, but you can see in this Kurt Simmons here, really kind of a rough card. This Roger Craig card, really rough corners. I'm not sure if it shows up, but the card's actually pretty dirty. But then other cards, like even right in the same row, this Joe Mahler card is really not in very bad shape. So I will, after I share these with you, after I unbox these, I'll go through, like I did with the 1973s, put them in order by number and go on the PSA registry and see if one or the other of them is worth a little more money than, either because it's a weird number or, just a player that I'm not familiar with, a rookie card that I'm not familiar with. These are all, just going through here, 1963 rookies. or excuse me, 1963 commons. There's a rookie on this page, or it's one of these 1962 Topps All-Star rookie, Al Jackson. Now, I follow another YouTube channel, Chris Sewell. I think his channel is called Sports Card Collector Investor Dealer, in that order. I think, or that's what he always says on his channel. And he does a weekly video of high roller cards. That is the vintage cards that sold for the most money in the past week. And two of those cards come from this 1963 set, which is the Pete Rose rookie, which I don't think that I have. Pete Rose's second-year card also had a record-breaking sale this past week. And we may get lucky. I may have that card, but I don't think I do. And I don't think it's going to be in this binder, but maybe we'll have a miracle next video. Here's a page, mostly 1963 cards. Orlando Cepeda, I believe he was a all-star a few times. Two Phillies up here. Now, these aren't 1963. We have a 1965 Topps John Briggs and a 1964 Topps Johnny Callison. We have a Bob Uecker card here. Bob Uecker is in the Hall of Fame, but for broadcasting, not playing. He wasn't a very good player. On this page, we have two Tony Gonzalez cards. We have his 1963 card, 1965 card. And then here's something cool. We have the 1964 strikeout leaders, which includes Hall of Famer Bob Gibson. And 1964 RBI leaders, which includes Willie Mays. A lot of Willie Mays cards have been selling for very high prices, but of course not really those, not a card like that where he's on a card with other people. But it's still Willie Mays. Willie Mays is Willie Mays, right? One of the all-time greats. So, you know, a lot of people would like to have that card in their collection. This page, more 1963 rookies. We have one team card. I mentioned them in the last video. I'm happy to see these team cards because they sometimes tend to fetch a little bit more than the regular cards. You see, again, with condition issues, look at this card. There's just basically a rip up in the corner. Luckily, it's a rookie, or excuse me, luckily it's a common as opposed to, say, you know, a Mickey Mantle or something. Another page with mostly commons, but again, we got a little, somebody snuck in here. We have a Tom Seaver, 1973. So another all-star from 1973, Hall of Famer from 1973 in this lot. More 1963 commons. More commons. This one's pretty badly miscut. Again, this is not, I think this is a factory error. And then here's a good example. Well, this Dave Stenhouse, Washington Senators. I just wanted to show this off because at the top here, this is probably closest to almost one of the closest to mint cards I've seen so far in this set. But then things kind of fall apart down here at the bottom. But nevertheless, I just wanted to show that you know the quality of some of the cards vary significantly. Take a few more pages out of the book here. More comments. I don't see anything super interesting on this page. More comments. One team card. LA Dodgers. Some local interest. More comments. 1963. And remember, you know, these are 1963 cards. These are old cards. You can't just go down to your local card shop and get these any day of the week. Boog Powell, second-year card. I think he might have been an all-star. Don't think he's in the Hall. More commons. Here's a good example. You know, I mentioned last video those manager cards that I like. And this one's funny because it's like this manager card, and I'm not sure if they're all like this in this set. You see it's got like a different layout than the regular player cards, but this is the, I'll take one out. Let me see if I can find the one. You see this card, well, for the most part, this card's in really nice condition. There's one corner down here that's, I'm not sure if it's showing up as a little defective. Maybe if I move it over here. I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, on video, you can't even tell. That looks almost like a pristine card. But that's Harry Kraft, Houston Colt 45's manager. And look, he's got the fate. He's going to the guys, hustle out there or something, Stop falling asleep in the outfield or something. I don't know. More Commons, Milwaukee Braves team card. Pretty jacked. There's like a bend on that card. More Commons. More Commons. Jose Pagan. I think he might have been an all-star, or maybe I just know him because he played for the Phillies or something. And this page, I think there's probably other 1963s in here, but we're now moving from 1963 to 64. These are a few examples of the 64 Topps set. There's a rookie. I showed you last time or 2 videos ago, I showed you my 1964 Tommy John rookie. Here's a page. Don Zimmer was later a manager. I think he might have won a World Series as a manager with some team. Milwaukee Braves team picture. A few more of the 64, a couple more of the 64 team pictures. Here's a 65 team picture, the Cardinals. And yeah, that one's in real nice condition. And here's an interesting card. Again, I don't know if you can see that exactly. It's not my camera. The picture is very out of focus. The card, it's like the card didn't print right, so it's like a double printing. Kind of makes it look almost like psychedelic because it's got this. You probably can't see it that well, but it's got this green and red thing going on. And again, I don't know how much those error. That was a Magic card that was misprinted like that. Especially if it's a card that people want in their decks, that would be worth a good deal of money. I don't know how people feel about baseball card errors like that. As far as I could tell, it's not a known error. That color imbalance. More 64 cards here. There's a second-year card. These theme cards, which are like the team leaders. Hitting area, Dick Sisler and Veda Pinzon. I've heard of Sisler before. I don't think he's in the Hall, but I think he was a good player. More Commons. These are from 64. Tell me in the comments, what style do you prefer? Do you prefer the 63s or the 64s? What do we like better? I've seen I don't know. I've seen the 63s so many times I'm used to it, but they're both kind of cool. More 64s. For one reason or another, I seem to have fewer 64s than I do. I have the most 63s, fewer 64s, and then more 65s than 64s. Here we have some 65s, 1964 strikeout leaders, a couple rookies, Bruce Howard, Marv Steele. But other than that, all Commons. More 64 Commons, more 65 Commons with a stray 64. More 65. Rookie card up here, Santos Alomar. I think he is related to the Alomar brothers and cousins from the 80s. I could be wrong about that. I hope that's not offending anybody, but I think that they are related. More 65s, more team cards. Here's a nice rookie, just from my point of view. Phillies rookies: Pat Corrales, Costin Shockley. I think Corrales, if I'm pronouncing that right, had a little bit of a career with the Phillies. And getting into the last few pages here, I'm just going to, wrap up the live stream with these pages. This has been Friday Night Cracks. I'll remind everybody again at the end to like and subscribe. Still working on that 100 subscriber contest. When I get 100 subscribers, we'll send you one of these commons to add to your collection. For the younger viewers out there, like I said, you can't just go to your local card shop and buy these necessarily. Here we have more 65 commons. More 65 commons with a couple of these World Series special cards. This card, this is interesting. I don't know why this is. Here's a card that, for one reason or other, is just somebody just cut it. I don't know why. It looks like they kind of cut it to put it into some kind of holder or something, but I don't think I did that. More 65 cards. Now on this page we have some strays, mostly 65, but we have a 66 rookie, Brent Aliyah and Pete Craig. I don't really think they went on to do much in their careers. Another 66 down here, and 67 Mini Rojas, who I think was a decent player. I could be wrong about that. And now here, this is interesting. Yeah, I didn't expect to see this. There's a bunch more 67s on this page. I think they're all commons. Those are kind of a nice design. For whatever reason, the pictures on those, the photos, have a little bit more of a vintage feel to them, in my opinion. And this is actually the last page that we have for today. Just more 67 tops. Down here, Phillies card, factory cut, miscut. See, it's basically got no bottom. So that takes us through the rest of this big-ass binder. We have one more folder to go through. And after that, I'm going to start to sell the cards, or at least some of them. I'm still deciding what I want to sell, what I want to grade, if I can even grade. I don't know if folks follow the hobby, you know that the grading services right now are extremely backed up. PSA, which is the industry standard for vintage cards, has recently changed its price schedule. So it's slightly prohibitive for cards like these that are probably not going to get super high grades. So I need to definitely be very careful about what I choose to get graded. I did mention in another video, I'll probably get that Mickey Mantle graded. Maybe that Mike Schmidt rookie, even though it's miscut. And maybe some other cards as well. But for the time being, that's going to do it here for Friday Night Cracks. For the couple folks that tuned in live, thanks for joining me. For those watching the video in the future, be sure to like and subscribe. Really make a comment. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback on Facebook. Try to comment on YouTube. That helps move the videos up in the algorithm, even if you just want to say hi, or you just want to tell me what your favorite card is. Are you enjoying the vintage baseball, or would you like us to get back to the Magic? Just let me know. And until then, our motto here at Crack'n Paks is to always be Crack'n Paks. So until next time, happy cracks. Enjoy your Friday night. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And we'll see you next time here on Crack'n Paks.